Planned Parenthood isn't the only agency impacted by funding decisions in Alabama. The House voted to strip Medicaid of more than $150 million of their funding. WIAT 42 News reporter Mike McClanahan tonight on the human cost of those cuts. Cuts that could impact 1 in every 5 Alabamians.
Medicaid is a word you hear a lot at the State House in Montgomery when lawmakers are talking about budgets. But for about 1 million people living in Alabama, Medicaid is more than a line item, it's a lifeline. A budget that would gut the state's Medicaid program has made it through one half of the legislature. That has huge implications for 60% of the patients treated at Children's of Alabama. A hospital spokesperson says that's how many are covered by Medicaid. It would also impact Kid One transportation. They make sure children and expectant mothers with no other means of getting around are able to get to doctor's appointments. Without Medicaid funding,
all of a sudden there's 6,000 to 7,000 medical visits that are not facilitated.
Dr. Amy Bentley-Ejeskis says Medicaid has its flaws, but it's vital to some of the most vulnerable adults and children in the state.
I do think that Medicaid probably stands to be reformed. It's not uncommon for a person to ask me to write a prescription for Tylenol, because if you have a prescription, even though it's an over-the-counter product, Medicaid will pay for it. And so I do think that there's some abuse that could be corrected. I think the problem is, as when the government is trying to correct problems, the innocent get punished with the guilty, and that's never what anybody wants. I think the saddest part of that is that the child is in that situation and they have no recourse.
Senate President Pro Tem Del Marsh says the House's budget cuts to Medicaid are expected to face some fierce resistance in the Senate. In Shelby County, Mike McClanahan, WIAT 42 News. Coverage you can count on.